and welcome once again. I'm going to briefly cover a new feature that I added to Traffic Cop and go over the contents of the development for that. So, one of the original features of the first Traffic Cop was actually the fact that when a vehicle would run the intersection, the driver would throw things at the Traffic Cop player. So part of the first steps for doing that is making sure the vehicle knows where the player is and how far the vehicle is away from the player. So in order to accomplish that, I have set out rather cleverly to add in a large bit of logic to the car AI, the AI controller for the car. And as we can see here, I've reduced the throw distance, so I'll go ahead and increase that again so it'll actually accomplish this go around. And what it accomplishes, what it should do is it should actually no longer line trace. We'll see how well that works. And basically the thing that we want it to do is we want it to more or less get within a certain distance of the player and then trigger the throw action. So in order to do that, we actually have to break every hit that results from a multi-line trace, which is a bit complex. And we have to make sure that the distance that the hit occurred was within the range of the throw. So in order for it to throw, it has to be within X distance of it. Then this blank block in here, this blank comment block in here, is going to be the spot that holds the future projectile spawning. But for right now, what we're doing is we're making sure that it actually is within reach of the vehicle for the throw, and that the object that it's trying to throw at is the player target actor itself. And as you can see here, I have two for each loops and a couple branches. So we'll go ahead and compile that, save it, and now we'll go ahead and run it. As you can see here, I've depossessed the spawn pawn deliberately. And as you can see, the new lines that we have showing up in the game here are actually tracing directly at the player target, which is this thing. Since I made that in place of the player character, since during the full game the player character is going to be anchored one spot. Currently, I'm just using a stand-in to be able to graphically demonstrate that the vehicles are using a multi-line trace in order to determine how many blocking obstacles there are for a vehicle in order to determine the distance between it and the player pawn. So, as we can see here, there might also be a situation where in which the player can't be seen, or that there's something else obstructing them, as you can see here with the ray traces blocking it. So we wouldn't want the van to try to throw through another van, because then the projectile would just hit this the second van here, and that would cause it to fail. Let's go ahead and let them move again. So that you can see. And you can see almost the instant it comes into the intersection, it loses the ray trace because it's now entered into a proper throwing distance with the player target, which is this thing here. So let the cars stop kamikazing one another. And as it comes down here, you can see that the ray trace line vanishes when it gets within an appropriate throwing distance of the player. So, our script is working exactly as intended. Thank you for your time.